Everyone talks about linking your thinking in Obsidian, and linking is great for exploring an idea emergence, but when you're trying to actually research something, you can end up drowning in tabs. So I built a different workflow. I still use links, but I append related notes together to keep everything in one place while I conduct research. So let me show you how this works, and then I'll show you how to build it. Here I have multiple research notes I created back in January 2025 on the MetaBind community plugin. If you look at the properties of the toggle here, I don't really have any YAML properties. The date and time does. It has tags, the date added, and the source. The slider also doesn't have any properties. And if I reveal the local graph view on the right-hand side and click on a few different notes, you can see that they're not all linked together either. So the only thing connecting these notes at the moment is the prefix MB that I put in the title of the note. So the lesson here is if I'd linked these notes together, then linking wouldn't be the problem and I would know that they are all related in some way. And if I didn't have MB in the title, then I wouldn't have an anchor to come back to. So let's now have a look at the solution for this problem. In today's video, we're going to use the Obsidian MetaBind plugin as a research topic to showcase this workflow. So you can see here that I've got a GitHub link to the community plugin. So if I select that, that's going to be one source of research material. Also got this link here to the MetaBind docs. So I'm going to use that as well. So we jump back into Obsidian. The best way to focus on your research is to start with a workspace. So I'm going to come down to my commander link here and click Manage Workspace Layouts. Then I'm going to scroll down and select Research. That's going to take me to my Research Notes workspace. So let's just have a look at the workspace first. So on the left-hand side, I have under Spaces a folder note called Research Notes. And that folder note contains a property, my research folder, a menu with quick links inside spaces. Now, I don't tend to use that very much. It's more of a nice to have. Then I have a start research button when I want to start a new research topic. And then underneath that, I have my research base, and we just have the name of my research notes and the date created. On the right-hand side, I have my research base pinned as well. When you start a new topic and start making your notes, then you've still got a point of reference on the right-hand side here. And then down the bottom, we've just got a local graph view, which shows our relational links for our research topic. So when we append notes to our topic, they will appear down here. So I'll just run through a quick example. So we've got our topic here, MetaBind Community Plugin. So if I click in that one, you can see that it brings me to the MetaBind Community Plugin topic page. I've got some tags up the top there, my research note with a little seedling, and I could add any more tags there if I wanted. I've got some information about when it was created, the week, the month, the quarter, and the year, the type of note it is. So I could even say research topic instead of research note, what it's related to, and a quick summary. And then it's optional, but sometimes I put the date in a hidden call out as well. And you can see here I've created 3 notes. So I've got MB for MetaBind, then I've got input field text, suggester, and slider, and then a link to the MetaBind docs down the bottom here. We can see the local graph view has updated. So we have our topic here, MetaBind Community Plugin, and then we have our 3 research notes here. So MetaBind input field text, MetaBind input field suggester, and MetaBind input field slider. Then the other links are just the date links, which are not as important, but we can quickly find our appended notes there. You notice up the top here, I've also got the 3 notes here. So if I was to click into text here, then you can see I can either go back to Research Home to take me back to the parent topic, or I can navigate over on the right here to Suggester and then go back home as well. So this keeps my research very focused. It also keeps all the notes together You could do this for any folder. You could do it for a learning folder if you wanted, or you could skip folders completely. You don't need to use folders. I just find I like using a combination of everything. So I'll use tags, folders, and links. So I'll just show you how I would add a new research note to this topic. So I just hit enter and then select new research note. Then I need to go get my topic. So I will go down to select here, and I'm going to use this one here. So I could copy and paste. That's one option. So we'll just go back to Obsidian here, and we'll just put metabind input field select, hit OK. So that creates our new note, and we can add any further YAML properties here. But the most important thing is to get the note in first. Come back here. I'm just going to take everything here and put it in there. And we could change that title to summary. And I'm going to go into input fields and down to select and multi-select. Now I want some examples like this inside of my vault. So I'm going to use some that I've already created to save a bit of time. So I'll paste those into the note. So you can see here I've got 3 examples of selects that I can use in Obsidian. So I've got bored, content, or excited. And you can see that updates down here as well because I'm appending it to overall mood, which is also set here. So if I set content here, it sets it up there because it's appending to the same YAML property there. So you can see it also updates here in content. So if I was to select board, then it's board up there as well. So I use that quite a lot in my Obsidian vaults. So now we can go back to our main topic page, and you can see we've now got the input field select in there, and it's also linked over here as well. Now, if you don't want to copy and paste, then you can use other methods. You could install the Obsidian web clipper, and what you would do is you'd use a predefined template. So you can see I've got one here for research, and that places it in my Spaces research folder. So all I need to do is add it to Obsidian. And you can see now I have my select note from the web clipper brought into Obsidian. So I can look at the properties there and see what it looks like. Now it's only called select. So I'd have to give it a new name, metabind input field select. I'll just type web clipper because I've already created one manually. So now if I go back, you can see it's not here because I've brought it in with the web clipper. So I actually have to put double square brackets and manually add it as a new appended research note. And you can see now it's down here connected. So you can also notice that my web clipper actually put it in the research folder, not the research notes folder. So I need to fix that in my web clipper. I'll put that one down there and I'll get rid of this one. So now it shows up here in the correct location. So after some time, you'll have all your appended notes, and then you can start using the middle mouse button to open all of those notes up, and then hide your left and your right pane. Hold down the Shift key and use your mouse wheel, and you can quickly reference through all the notes that you've made. So you can still use multiple tabs, but they're not getting lost inside of your graph view. So now if I was to create a new note by hitting Control-N, and I'll just select new note. I'll call this one metabind test. And I wanted to use this select field here again. All I need to do is copy the code here, put 3 backticks, metabind, and paste in the syntax. And now I have my select. If I wanted to take one of the sliders here, I could just copy this here, come down, add my slider. Now I have my slider. Now you can see I've lost where I am now, so I can go back to my workspace and load my research workspace back up, and I'm back to where I was researching my metabind input fields. So now that I've created my research topic with my appended notes, let's imagine that it's been a few months and we want to retrieve some of that information. I find with retention and recall, it's best to use your anchors. And your anchors are your folders, tags, or links. So let me show you what I mean. So we'll start with the first one, which is folder. So if I navigate to Spaces, I can come down to Research Notes. Now I'm going to have a whole bunch of notes in here from the last time that I viewed the metabind input field notes. So I could either just look through here. Another anchor is my workspace. So I navigate to my research workspace. and I can search through the date created there. If we go back to the minimal theme again, I could also look through my tags. So I could come here and sort my tags from high to low. And then I just need to select my research note tag. And I could have a look on the left-hand side there. You can see I've got input field suggester here, slider. So I could search for it that way. So what about if we jump into the Obsidian graph view? Now we've got a lot of notes there. So we could spend a lot of time here trying to find them, or we could come up to the top here, expand our filter, type in research. That's going to narrow it down to our research notes. So we could either look through here, or we could narrow it further. Research note, here we go. We've got our tag, my research note. And then from there, we have a few notes to look at. So we can see down here, we've got our MetaBind community plugin. Then we hit our Alt-L to bring up our local graph view, and we can explore through our research topic that way. So it's not about finding the perfect system. It's about organizing your notes in a way that you can recall and reflect on them when you need them. If you've made it this far into the video, it means that you're interested in setting up this research workflow in your Obsidian Vault. So the first thing you need to do is navigate down to the settings, select core plugins, and make sure the base's core plugin is enabled. Next, we're going to go over to community plugins and select browse. And I want you to make sure that you've got folder notes installed. This is going to allow us to create our folder note index research page. The next community plugin is called MetaBind. MetaBind is going to be used for our buttons, and it's going to call our quick add commands. So we'll need to grab the quick add community plugin as well. And the last community plugin is called Templater. So Templater is going to allow us to insert our date variables from our template. So once you've got all those community plugins installed, we can start setting up our research workspace and templates, as well as our buttons. So the first thing we'll do is we need to create our index landing page. So I'm going to head over to Spaces and create a folder note for research notes here. So I'll right click, come up to folder note commands, and I'm going to create a markdown folder note. It'll just take the name of the folder. I'm going to put 3 tags to start doing my YAML properties. And then I'm going to put some tags in here. Now I'm going to work in source mode. So I'll jump into source mode. You can get to it through here. Then I'm going to put a tag in. So I'm going to put hash my research folder, make sure I type it correctly. And then I always like to put CSS classes in there as well. So that's all I'm going to do for my YAML properties at the moment. So the next thing I need to do is put my base. So I'm going to put research base. Now I haven't created it yet, so I'll hit Control P or Command P on a Mac. Type base. I'm going to create a new base and call it research notes. I'm going to click the table and rename that to research. Then over at the filter here, I'm going to expand all views, and I'm going to say where either the tag contains my research, if I wanted to just pull in all the tags, but I'm using a folder. So I'm going to say where the folder contains spaces, research notes, and that's going to pull everything in from my research notes folder here. So you can see I've got 37 results. Then I'm going to select properties, and I'm going to choose my YAML property date created. So now I have date created. Now you can either sort it there or put it here. Just going to leave it on the end. And I'm going to sort by the date created as well. And we'll go from new to old. So now we just have the new research notes up the top here. So now that we've got our research base, we can just left click and hold and drag and put it over to the right pane there. Now by default, it puts it in the note lab. So you can see it's here. So I like to move it into my bases folder. So I'm just going to drop it down there. So now I have my base. Now you can see I've lost my research notes page. So I just select it over here. Now we're getting started. So let's go exclamation mark, double square brackets, and select that new base that we created. That brings in the research base. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create our buttons. I'll open up my toolkit, and I like to store them in snippets MetaBind embeds. So I'll open up that one. You can see I've got a few MetaBind embeds in there. So I can go new MetaBind embed here. I'm just going to call this one Research Buttons. So what that's done is it's created a new note here called MetaBind Research Buttons under my MetaBind embeds. There's nothing in there at the moment. What we're going to do is go create our templates and quick add commands, just staging this for now. So what we'll do is we'll come back into here, we'll go into syntax mode, and below here, we're going to put 3 backticks, MetaBind embed, double square brackets, and we'll select the MetaBind Research Buttons, and they're going to get pulled into this note here. The next one we want to do is we want to start research button up here, but we actually need to create the template first. So come over to our toolkit again, go down to templates. Now I've got a folder note for that as well, so I can jump in there. You can see all my templates inside of there. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a new research topic template. So I can use my button here, or I can just right click and go new note. So I'll just click this one. And I'm going to give it a name. So this one will be called New Research Topic Template. And you'll notice now under templates here, Research Topic Template. I'll jump into source mode. It's a little bit easier to work. Now to save time, I'm just going to copy in my YAML properties. So you can see I've got tags with my research note. Now you might want to put my research topic. It might be a little bit more appropriate since it's a topic. Then we've got date created, week, month, quarter, year, type, related, and summary. And then we've got our templater syntax here, which dynamically pulls in all of those properties. So underneath that, I'm just going to paste in some meta details. And then I'm going to put research notes as my title. Then I'll put a templater command to say when the template is created, put my cursor here, file cursor, like so, tidy it up a bit. Then underneath that, I'll put my external sources. And then I'm going to put my embed in there again because we're going to pull buttons in there. So I'll just copy this one here, paste it down there. So then we've got our new research topic template. So we'll do the same for our note. So what I might do is I'll just right click this one, make a copy. And this one's going to be called my research note template. And we'll keep the YAML properties the same, but we'll just change this to my research note. So let's go back, make that one topic, and we'll go forward. Yeah, that's better. So now we've got our note template. Our note template is going to be slightly different. We're just going to have note here, keep the cursor there. We don't need external sources, and we'll keep our buttons coming in as well. So now we have our 2 templates, research note template, topic template. We've got our folder note index page, and we've got our research buttons embed. So let's hide this, and we're going to create our buttons now. So we'll start with the research note index page. What we want to do is we want to put a bit of space here, and we'll right click and go MetaBind inline button. We're going to put a button here called Start Research. So then we're going to go create that button. But before we create the button, we need to create the quick add command for it. So we'll come down to our settings, scroll down to quick add. Yours will probably be empty, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to here. I'm going to put it under my multi here, which is my quick commands. I'm going to create a template. So we'll call this one new research topic. It's going to be a template. So we'll add that as a choice. And then we're going to select the power icon so we can call it through the command palette and also MetaBind. And then we'll hit the cogwheel there. And we're going to specify our template that we just created. So it'll be this one here, the topic. Then we're going to create it in a folder. So we'll toggle that one on. Then we're going to type the folder path, 3 spaces, research notes, and we'll add that one. Link to created file will be disabled. And we're just going to select open. And instead of new tab, we'll go reuse the current tab. And that's it. Now, if you wanted to jazz that up a bit, you could window key full stop, put a magnifying glass there if you wanted to do that. So now we've got our new research topic. So let's do our second one, which is new research note. We'll go Windows key full stop writing hand. We're going to add that as a choice. We're going to select the power icon, go into the cogwheel, going to select our template path. So this time it'll be the toolkit templates, new research note template. Going to choose the location again. This one is going to go into 3 spaces. It's case sensitive, so hit add on that one. So this time we're going to link it to the created file. So we're going to change this to enabled. You can say skip if no active file. That's a good one. And then we want to open it and we want to replace the current tab. Now we've got our 2 commands. So let's close out of there. Let's come over to our MetaBind research buttons here. Going to right click, MetaBind button. I'm going to come up here and go Windows key full stop, put our magnifying glass in there, go start research. We can see a preview down here. And then this one is going to have the ID, start research. It's going to be hidden. We'll add our action, which is a command. Scroll down, select change, type in research. And this one's going to be the quick add command new research topic that we just created. And then we'll hit insert. You can see there we've got our start research. Sometimes I like to put it in quotes and it's pulling in our quick add command there. So we can see it's listed over here. So when we show that now, we can see it's showing there, start research. So we know that that is showing now. Let's go over to our research topic template and we're going to do a new research note button here. So I'm just going to right click MetaBind inline button. This one is going to be called new research note. So that's going to be my ID. So I'll come over here and right click MetaBind button. And then this one, I'll go Windows key full stop, choose the righty pencil again. I'll go new research note, paste in the ID, new research note. It's going to be hidden again. Add action, change, type in research, and then we have our new research note. You can see the command there, what it looks like here, and we can hit insert. Now we have our second MetaBind button, which is showing in the new research topic template. So the last one is the new research note template here. So we'll open that one up and we'll just put a bit of space here. And this one, we will right click MetaBind inline button. I'm going to call this one research home. So then we'll come into our embed again, right click button. This one's going to be called research home. Windows key full stop. I'll just put the home there and the ID, which was research home as well. Make sure we spell it properly. Research home, it's 2 H's, and we'll hide it. Now this one is a command as well, but we're going to hit change and put back, and it's just going to be a navigate back. And we'll insert that one. So now we have our research home. We can put that one in quotations as well. Same with this one. Now we have our 3 buttons. Get our source view. Might put the date added as today. Let's put a note used in the research folder. And you could even put the related note in there, which is research notes. So you know what it's related to. Okay, let's close that one. We don't need the template there anymore. So we've got our index page. So let's open up our right pane. So now we just need our local graph view. I'll hit Alt-L, set up a hotkey for my local graph, and then I'm just going to click and drag it and put it down here. So we've got that, and then we'll drop this one down. We'll open this one up. So now we've got our workspace. Let's go Control-P, Manage, Workspace, Layouts. Just call it Research Workspace, hit Save. So now if I go to Minimal, but if I go Control-P, Manage, Workspace, Layouts, then I can load the Research Workspace again. So let's test it out. So now we've got our Start Research, so I'll click that one. I'll call this one My New Topic, and it's put the cursor there. You can have a look at our YAML properties. All the dates are being pulled in correctly. Same for here. So we can do our new research note. Just go my first note, hit OK. That one creates OK as well. So you can see I've got my first note, my new topic. We've got our YAML properties still, and we've also got our meta details, and I should be able to go back to research home. Yep, and then I've got my first note there, and we can see it's all linking as it should do. So now if you want to bring in other notes, then you can always just click and drag and put them in like here if they live in other areas, and then you still get your linking to that topic. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it inspires you to experiment a little bit more with researching notes in your Obsidian Vault. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.